5 were out of the score for almost the entire piece.
Oh, accidentally.
You didn't actually turn a page, did you? So obviously you're very confident and knowledgeable about the music, and managing the retards, all those nuances were fantastic. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Do you like to conduct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did anybody see anything on O'Shea's face that would indicate to you that he was having a good time?
Sometimes.
One expression, okay? I mean, and believe me, the fact that we're already jumping to this aspect of your conducting says that you've got all the other stuff in great shape. You're very good at this. You look like you're having a good time. That's okay, all right? So it doesn't mean you have to be, like a politician smiling all the way through the piece, but we want a variety of expressions, okay? A couple other observations. You're doing a nice job with cueing in general. Some of them were a little bit late, and that could be perhaps you're just getting used to the kind of the layout of the group. But, in the Marine Band, we used to call those thank you cues, because when you cue somebody after they come in, then it's kind of a, oh yeah, I guess you do have a part there, right? So try to anticipate those, and even if it's, this music so well, what's coming up, start looking around and try to figure out, where those cues need to happen, all right? Now let's jump to the middle part of this, the slower section. Very graceful baton gestures. I think your basic movements are good. With the left hand, there's a tendency to mirror quite a bit, especially 4-1. And this is a very typical thing, especially for newer conductors. They start to achieve a little more left-hand independence, but there's something about that 4-1 that it's irresistible, right? When we go up, the left hand wants to go with it, and it comes back down. So see if you could do a little bit more with this interior section starting, you can start right at C, and try to show us more with the left hand, totally independent of the beat, okay? See what you can do there.
We'll start at letter C. Ready?
But still there's, and where this tends to come through is when we get to the peak of whatever gesture we want to show, the left hand almost always wants to come back out with the beat again. It's always, it's like going up is easy, but getting it out of the way, it always wants to fall back into the beat pattern. So after you've shown that line, you brought it to the top, think about how you're going to get out of that beat, out of that gesture without coming right back into the beat pattern again, okay? So can you try that one more time?
Same place.
So I'm mortising improvements, you're getting it out of the way. Now, there are a lot of these ascending gestures where I can tell you want them to do more with a line. But what I'm still seeing is this, okay? So can we see this? One of the conducting teachers at Butler, I sat in on one of his classes, and he was talking about independence of the left hand. He said, people get so hung up on this. But what happens when you're turning pages? You're moving that left hand independently all the time, right? You're doing this, and you don't even think about it. You don't even, I'm doing this, and it has nothing to do with the beat pattern. But as soon as we get up here, it starts doing this, right? So, since you're not turning pages, you don't have to worry about that. Just move that as independently as you can, all right?
Same place. Letter C.
This kind of odd percussion part in here. You're doing a great job of modifying your gesture. There's suddenly a little bit more ictus there, and that part actually makes sense. And it's like, hey, I really liked what you're doing with that. Now, one thing I'm noticing a little bit is a tendency to kind of bounce, all right? So I want you to pick it up. Have you heard about this before, probably? No, okay.
Teaching middle school, that happens.
What's that?
Teaching middle school, it happens.
Yeah. So there are times, some conducting teachers will tell you, you never do this, you never flex. There are times, depending on the music, where that's really appropriate. But you don't want it to become kind of an unconscious thing that you do, okay? So try this again and see if we have a little movement back there. Try this section here and just see if you can keep the lower half of the body stable, okay? You don't have to lock your knees. It's a good way to kind of fall over because you cut off the blood supply. But try to keep all the gestures in the upper half of the body, okay? Pick it up right with it.
Letter C.